What happens when one of Hollywood's most unpredictable actors sits down at a live morning talk show table, known for strong opinions, sharp interruptions, and zero filter? Make sure to subscribe to the Star Talks and like and comment for more talk show coverage. So here's how it starts. The camera pans across the table. The hosts are mid-introduction, smiling, relaxed, the usual rhythm of daytime TV. Joaquin Phoenix walks out to applause. Not wild applause. Curious applause. The kind that says the audience isn't sure what version of him they're about to get. Joy Behar leans forward first. Joy, Joaquin, thank you for being here. I have to say, we weren't sure you'd do this show. Audience laughs lightly. Joaquin, yeah. I wasn't sure either. Audience reacts, small laugh, a little tension already. Whoopee, that's honest. We appreciate honesty here. Joaquin, that's what I've heard. Sonny smiles but studies him carefully. Sonny, you've been doing a lot of press for the new film, but you don't seem to enjoy press tours. Joaquin, I don't enjoy pretending. The audience gives a soft, oh. Joy, pretending? You're an actor. Joaquin, yeah. On screen. There's a slight shift at the table. It's subtle but real. Joy, so you're saying we're pretending? Joaquin, I'm saying, sometimes these conversations are designed to feel spontaneous, but they're not. And I struggle with that. Audience murmurs. Whoopee. Well, this one's pretty spontaneous. Trust me. Joy, oh, it is. We don't rehearse disagreements. Audience laughs. Joaquin, that's good. He sits back, arms loosely folded. Not defensive. Just guarded. Joy, let's jump into the movie. You play a controversial character again. A lot of people say you're drawn to dark roles. Why? Joaquin, I don't see them as dark. I see them as human. Sunny, but they're deeply flawed. Joaquin, so are we. There's applause. Joy, sure, but you don't exactly play the friendly neighbor. Joaquin, I don't think the friendly neighbor tells the truth all the time. Audience reacts, louder this time. Joy, are you suggesting we don't tell the truth here? Whoopee Joy. Joy, no, I'm asking. Because you keep circling that idea. Joaquin, I'm not circling anything. I'm saying people are complicated. But on shows like this, you have to compress everything into neat little takes. Good guy. Bad guy. Hero. Villain. Sunny, that's television. Joaquin, exactly. That lands heavier than expected. The audience goes quiet. Joy, so why come on television if you don't respect it? Joaquin, I didn't say I don't respect it. Joy, you implied it. Joaquin, I said it simplifies things. That's different. Whoopee, okay, let's slow this down. She raises her hand slightly. Classic Whoopee move to calm the table. Whoopee, Joaquin, are you uncomfortable being here right now? Joaquin, I'm cautious. Joy, about what? Us. Joaquin, about being reduced to a headline. Audience murmurs again. Sunny, nobody's reducing you. We're asking questions. Joaquin, right? But sometimes the question already assumes the answer. Joy, that's not fair. Joaquin, it's how it feels. There's a pause. Not dramatic, just real. Live TV real. Joy, I've been doing this a long time. We ask direct questions because people at home want direct answers. Joaquin, and what if the honest answer isn't direct? Joy, then say that. But don't accuse us of setting traps. Whoopee, I don't think he said trap. Joy, he's implying it. Joaquin, I'm not attacking you. Joy, it feels like you are. The audience claps nervously. Sunny, okay, let's pivot slightly. Joaquin, you've spoken openly about anxiety in interviews. Does that play into this tension right now? Joaquin, probably. That vulnerability shifts the tone for a moment. Joaquin, I get uncomfortable when conversations feel like debates instead of exchanges. Joy, this show is debate. That's the format. Joaquin, I know. Joy, so again, why come? There it is. The first sharp moment. Joaquin, because I thought maybe it could be different. Audience reaction mixed. Joy, different how? Joaquin, less about winning. More about listening. Whoopee leans back, thoughtful. Whoopee, that's fair. Joy, we listen. Joaquin, do you? The audience gasps lightly. Joy, excuse me? Joaquin, I've watched the show. Sometimes it feels like the goal is to score a point. Sunny, that's a strong statement. Joaquin, it's an observation. Joy, it's an accusation. Whoopee Joy. Joy, no, I want to understand. Are you saying I don't listen? Joaquin, I don't know you personally. Joy, but you're sitting here judging how I do my job. Joaquin, and you're judging how I choose my roles. Audience reacts louder. Sunny, that's what interviews are. Joaquin, exactly. The tension is no longer subtle. Joy, so you think we're shallow? Joaquin, I think the format can be. Joy, that includes me. Joaquin, if you choose to include yourself. Whoopi exhales audibly. Whoopi, all right. We're 5 minutes in, and it feels like we're at minute 25. Audience laughs, breaking some tension. Joy, I just don't appreciate being told I don't listen. Joaquin, I didn't say you don't. I said sometimes it feels like listening isn't the priority. Joy, to you. Joaquin, yes. To me. Sunny, that's an important distinction. There's a small reset in the energy. Joy, let me ask you something directly. Do you think talk shows like this harm serious conversations? Joaquin, sometimes. Audience murmurs. Joy, wow. Whoopi, why? Joaquin, because everything has to fit into a segment. 8 minutes. Commercial break. Next topic. It turns complex issues into sound bites. Sunny, but isn't that also what actors do during press tours? Sound bites? Joaquin, that's what I'm struggling with. Joy, so you resent the system but participate in it. Joaquin, I'm trying to navigate it without losing myself. There's something raw in that answer. The audience quiets again. Joy softens slightly. Joy, that's a different answer than what you started with. Joaquin, because we're actually talking now. And that line, simple, calm, shifts the air again. Some applause. Joy, you know what? I don't mind disagreement. I mind implication. Joaquin, fair. Whoopi, this is what we do here. We push. Sometimes we push too hard. Sunny, and sometimes guests push back. Joy, oh, he's pushing. Audience laughs. Joaquin smiles faintly. Joaquin, I don't mind pushback. I mind performance. Joy, you keep using that word. Joaquin, because it's what I know. There's a beat. Joy, are you saying I'm performing right now? And that question, calm but sharp, hangs in the air as the audience leans forward, sensing this conversation isn't cooling down. It's just getting started. Joy, are you saying I'm performing right now? There's a pause. Not dramatic. Just long enough that the audience feels it. Joaquin, I think everyone performs a little when there's an audience. Audience murmurs. Joy, that's a very convenient answer. Joaquin, it's an honest one. Whoopi, well, we definitely know there's an audience. They're right there. Audience laughs, lightening it for a second. Joy, I'm not performing. I'm asking you direct questions. That's my job. Joaquin, I understand that. I'm not attacking your job. Joy, it feels like you are. Joaquin, that's not my intention. Sunny, but intention and impact are different things. Joaquin nods slowly. Joaquin, that's fair. Joy, so let's clear this up. Do you respect this show? Joaquin, I respect conversation. Joy, that wasn't the question. Joaquin, I know. Audience reacts with a low, oh. Whoopi, Joaquin, just answer her. Joaquin, yes. I respect the show. I wouldn't be here if I didn't. Joy, then why start by criticizing the format? Joaquin, because I'm uncomfortable with parts of it. Joy, and you thought the best way to handle that was to call us out 5 minutes in? Joaquin, I didn't call you out. I said how I feel. Joy, on national television. Joaquin, you invited me. Audience laughs loudly. Some clapping. Joy shakes her head, but smiles tightly. Joy, that's not how this works. You don't come into someone's house and critique the furniture before you sit down. Joaquin, if the chair's uncomfortable, I might mention it. Whoopi leans back, covering a smile. Whoopi, okay, that was funny. Audience applause. Joy, I'm not laughing. Joaquin, I'm not trying to be funny. Sunny, I want to dig into something you said earlier, about conversations becoming debates instead of exchanges. This table was built on debate. Strong women, different views. That's the point. Joaquin, I get that. But sometimes debate becomes about volume. Joy, are you saying I'm loud? Audience laughter. Joaquin, I didn't say that. Joy, you're thinking it. Joaquin, I think passion can be mistaken for listening. There's a shift again. Sunny, that's interesting. Joy, no, it's vague. Joaquin, I'm trying not to be personal. Joy, but you are being personal. Whoopi, Joy. Joy, no, I want clarity. He keeps saying the format, the system, the show. But he's sitting right here. So who exactly is he talking about? Joaquin, the culture of quick reactions. Not you as a person. Joy, I am part of the culture. Joaquin, yes. Joy. So you were talking about me. Joaquin exhales slowly. Joaquin, I'm talking about how sometimes nuance gets lost when everyone's trying to land a strong line. Audience claps softly. Joy, you think I'm trying to land strong lines? Joaquin, I think everyone on TV is. Whoopi, he's not wrong. The audience reacts loudly to that. Joy turns to Whoopi. Joy, oh, so now we're all performers? Whoopi, we're on television. Of course we are. Sunny, I think what Joaquin might be reacting to is the pressure of being boxed into a headline. We've all seen how interviews get clipped and go viral. Joaquin, exactly. Joy, so you're preemptively criticizing us because you're afraid of Twitter? Joaquin, I'm not afraid of Twitter. Joy, you sound afraid of it. Joaquin, I'm tired of being simplified. There's that word again. Joy, you're an Oscar-winning actor. You play extreme characters. But you don't want strong reactions? Joaquin, I don't mind strong reactions. I mind shallow ones. The audience reacts again, louder this time. Sunny, define shallow. Joaquin, reactions that don't try to understand context. Joy, so if I disagree with you, I'm shallow? Joaquin, no. If you reduce what I'm saying to something easier to argue against, that's shallow. Whoopi nods slightly. Whoopi, that's actually a fair point. Joy, it's also convenient. Joaquin, why convenient? Joy, because it sets you up as the misunderstood artist and us as the loud talk show hosts. Joaquin, that's not what I'm doing. Joy, that's how it's landing. Sunny, Joaquin, can you see how it might feel like you walked in here already defensive? Joaquin pauses. Joaquin, yes. Audience quiets. Sunny, why? Joaquin, because I've done interviews where the question wasn't really a question. It was a setup. Joy, we haven't set you up. Joaquin, I didn't say you did. Joy, but you're implying you expect it. Joaquin, I'm being honest about my anxiety. Whoopi, that's different than accusing us. Joy, then say that. Joaquin, I am. There's a moment where both of them just look at each other. Not angry, but firm. Joy, let me try something different. What would make this feel like an exchange to you? That question shifts things. Joaquin, curiosity without agenda. Joy, that's a big accusation again. Joaquin, I'm not accusing you of having an agenda. Joy, then what does that mean? Joaquin, it means asking something because you want to understand, not because you want a reaction. The audience claps lightly. Sunny, that's fair. But this is also television. Reaction matters. Joaquin, I know. Joy, and you benefit from reaction too. Your films spark reaction. Controversy. Debate. Joaquin, yes, but the work speaks for itself. Joy, and we're discussing the work. Joaquin, it doesn't feel like that. Whoopi, what does it feel like? Joaquin, like I'm defending myself instead of talking about the film. There's a pause. Joy, you've been here 10 minutes. Joaquin, and we haven't talked about the film. The audience laughs loudly. Whoopi, he's got a point. Joy throws her hands up slightly. Joy, because you turned it into a critique of daytime television. Joaquin, I responded to a question. Joy, you escalated it. Joaquin, I clarified. Sunny, okay, let's breathe for a second. There's a ripple of nervous laughter from the audience. Sunny, Joaquin, do you think you sometimes create tension because it feels safer than being vulnerable? That lands. Joaquin blinks, taken off guard. Joaquin, what do you mean? Sunny, you came in guarded. You pushed back early. Is that protection? Silence for a moment. Joaquin, maybe. The audience softens. Joy, that's the first thing you've said that doesn't feel like a lecture. Audience reacts, some gasps. Joaquin, I wasn't lecturing. Joy, it felt like it. Joaquin, I'm trying to explain myself. Joy, then explain yourself without implying we're shallow. Joaquin, I didn't call you shallow. Joy, you said the format is. Joaquin, sometimes. Whoopi, and sometimes it is. Audience applause. Joy turns slightly toward Whoopi again. Joy, you're enjoying this. Whoopi, I'm moderating. The audience laughs. But the tension is still there, thicker now. Joy, let me be very direct. Do you think this show contributes to the polarization you criticize in society? There it is. The question that sharpens everything. Joaquin looks at her steadily. The audience goes quiet. He opens his mouth to answer. And the energy in the room shifts again, because whatever he says next is either going to calm this down, or take it somewhere they can't easily walk back from. The audience is completely quiet. Joy, let me be very direct. Do you think this show contributes to the polarization you criticize in society? Joaquin doesn't rush. He shifts slightly in his chair, hands clasped together now instead of folded. He's choosing his words carefully. Joaquin, I think all media contributes to polarization in some way. Audience murmurs. Joy, that's a yes. Joaquin, it's a broader yes. Joy, but it includes us. Joaquin, it includes everyone who speaks publicly. Whoopee, that's a diplomatic answer. Joy, it's still an accusation. Joaquin, it's not meant to be. Joy, but it is. Joaquin, you asked me directly. Joy, and I appreciate that you answered. But you're painting with a very wide brush. Sonny, Joaquin, when you say all media, what responsibility do you think shows like this have? Joaquin, a huge responsibility. Sonny, in what way? Joaquin, in not turning disagreement into entertainment. The audience reacts, louder this time. Joy, disagreement is entertaining. That's human nature. Joaquin, but when it becomes about winning instead of understanding, it stops being productive. Joy, who's trying to win? Joaquin, it feels competitive sometimes. Joy, between who? Joaquin, between viewpoints. Whoopee, that's debate. Joaquin, debate doesn't have to be combative. Joy, it often is. Joaquin, that's the problem. The audience lets out a collective, oh. Joy, so now we're the problem. Joaquin, that's not what I said. Joy, you keep doing that. You say something pointed, then you soften it. Joaquin, because you're personalizing it. Joy, because you're sitting at this table. Sonny, I think what's happening right now is actually proving his point a little bit. The audience reacts immediately. Joy, oh really? Sonny, we're framing it as sides. Him versus us. Whoopee nods slowly. Whoopee, that's true. Joy, or maybe he came in with a chip on his shoulder. Joaquin, I didn't come in with a chip. Joy, you came in criticizing. Joaquin, I came in cautious. Joy, that's not how it felt. Joaquin, I can't control how it feels to you. The audience gets louder again. Joy, that's dismissive. Joaquin, it's honest. There's a long pause. Whoopee, Joaquin, let me ask you this. When you watch this show, what bothers you specifically? Joaquin, when someone says something complex and it gets boiled down to a reaction, like an eye roll or a sharp comeback. It gets applause, but it doesn't get understanding. Joy, so applause bothers you? Joaquin, no. Simplification does. Sonny, but audiences respond to clarity. Joaquin, clarity is different from reduction. Joy, give me an example. Joaquin, okay. If I say I struggle with press tours because they feel performative, that doesn't mean I think every host is fake. Joy, but that's how it sounded. Joaquin, because it got reduced. The audience makes noise again. Joy, or maybe because you weren't clear. Joaquin, that's possible. That answer surprises the room. Joy pauses. Joy, okay. That's fair. Sonny, this is interesting because what we're seeing right now is misinterpretation in real time. Whoopee, that's live television. Joy, and it's messy. Joaquin, exactly. Joy, you don't like messy? Joaquin, I don't like when messy becomes spectacle. Joy, we're not a circus. Joaquin, I didn't say you were. Joy, you keep implying things. Joaquin, and you keep assuming the worst version of what I'm saying. The audience reacts sharply to that. Joy, excuse me? Joaquin, I'm saying I feel like you're hearing me in the most confrontational way possible. Joy, because you're being confrontational. Joaquin, I'm being reflective. Joy, it doesn't feel reflective. Joaquin, that doesn't mean it isn't. The energy spikes again. Sonny, Joaquin, can I ask you something personal? Joaquin nods. Sonny, do you feel misunderstood often? There's a real pause this time. Joaquin, yes. The audience softens immediately. Sonny, is that part of what's happening right now? Joaquin, probably. Joy, but do you see how you might be creating that dynamic? Joaquin, how? Joy, by assuming we're reducing you before we do. Joaquin, I didn't assume. I expressed a fear. Joy, you expressed it as a criticism. Joaquin, that wasn't my intention. Joy, but that's how it landed. Whoopee, okay, here's the real question. Joaquin, are you willing to admit you came in defensive? Joaquin thinks for a second. Joaquin, yes. Audience murmurs. Whoopee. And Joy, are you willing to admit you might have reacted defensively? The audience goes silent. Joy pauses. She looks at Joaquin, then back at Whoopi. Joy, I don't like being told I don't listen. Whoopi, that wasn't the question. Joy exhales. Joy, fine. Maybe I reacted strongly. Audience applause. Joaquin nods slightly. Joaquin, I didn't mean to question your integrity. Joy, it felt like that. Joaquin, I'm sorry it felt that way. The audience reacts, some applause, some surprised murmurs. Joy, that's not quite an apology. Joaquin, it's the honest version. Joy, you don't apologize easily, do you? Joaquin, I try not to apologize for feelings. But I can apologize for impact. Sunny, that's growth. Whoopi, that's adult. The tension eases slightly. Slightly. Joy, let me ask you something else then. If you dislike the media structure so much, why not avoid it entirely? Joaquin, because films are collaborative. Hundreds of people work on them. Promotion isn't just about me. Joy, so this is obligation? Joaquin, responsibility. Joy, even if you don't like it. Joaquin, especially if I don't like it. The audience applauds. Sunny, that's interesting. Joy, but you understand we have a responsibility too, right? To challenge you. To not just hand you softballs. Joaquin, I'm not asking for softballs. Joy, then what are you asking for? Joaquin, space to answer without being boxed in. Joy, that's what I'm trying to do. Joaquin, it doesn't feel like that. And there it is again. The room tightens. Joy, you keep saying that. Joaquin, because it's how I feel. Joy, and what about how we feel? Joaquin looks at her. Joaquin, I'm listening. There's a shift in the energy, subtle, but real. Joy, it feels like you came here expecting a fight. Joaquin, I expected friction. Joy, why? Joaquin, because I've watched this show. The audience gasps lightly. Whoopi leans forward. Whoopi, and what do you see when you watch? Joaquin takes a breath. Joaquin, I see smart women. Strong opinions. But sometimes I see people talking past each other instead of to each other. The audience is split, some applause, some tension. Joy, and you think you're not doing that right now? That question lands hard. Joaquin pauses. The silence stretches just long enough to feel uncomfortable. Joaquin, maybe I am. The audience reacts, a mix of relief and surprise. But Joy isn't smiling. Joy, so maybe the problem isn't just the format. That line hangs there. And for the first time since the segment started, it feels less like a debate and more like something personal. Joy, so maybe the problem isn't just the format. The audience is quiet again. Not tense in the explosive way, tense in the reflective way. Joaquin nods slowly. Joaquin, maybe it isn't. Whoopi, that's honest. Sunny, this feels different now. Joy, good. Because I don't mind disagreement. I mind being told I'm part of what's wrong with society before we've even had coffee. Audience laughs, breaking some of the heaviness. Joaquin, I didn't say you were what's wrong with society. Joy, you said media contributes to polarization. Joaquin, it does. Joy, including you. Joaquin, including me. That lands. The audience reacts, louder applause this time. Whoopi, now we're getting somewhere. Joy studies him for a second. Joy, so you're not standing outside the system criticizing it. You're inside it. Joaquin, absolutely. Sunny, that's a different tone than earlier. Joaquin, earlier I felt cornered. Joy, you weren't cornered. Joaquin, it felt that way to me. Joy, because I pushed back. Joaquin, because it escalated quickly. Whoopi, it did escalate quickly. Audience laughter. Joy, well, he came in hot. Joaquin, I came in cautious. Joy, it didn't look cautious. Joaquin, that's fair. There's a small smile between them. Not friendly yet, but not hostile either. Sunny, I think what's interesting is that this is the exact kind of exchange viewers say they want. Real, uncomfortable, not rehearsed. Whoopi, this definitely wasn't rehearsed. Audience applause. Joy, let me ask you something honestly. Did you expect me to challenge you this hard? Joaquin, yes. Joy, and that bothered you? Joaquin, no. What bothered me was feeling like I had to defend my character instead of explain my thoughts. Joy, I wasn't attacking your character. Joaquin, it felt personal when you said I came in with a chip on my shoulder. Joy, because you did. The audience laughs again. Joaquin smiles faintly. Joaquin, maybe I did. There's a lighter tone now. Whoopi, so we've established everyone came in a little defensive. Sunny, and everyone pushed. Joy, that's what we do. Joaquin, and that's what I react to. Joy, you don't like being pushed? Joaquin, I don't like being misunderstood. Joy, nobody does. That's the most grounded line she said all segment. There's a quiet agreement in the room. Sunny, I think what just happened is actually a good example of how messy dialogue can still be productive. Whoopee, as long as nobody flips the table. Audience laughter and applause. Joy, don't tempt me. Joaquin, I'd probably apologize for the table. Audience laughs louder. The tension has shifted fully now. It's not gone, it's transformed. Joy, let me say this. I don't think you're wrong about media sometimes reducing complexity. It happens, but we try to ask hard questions because people at home want clarity. Joaquin, I understand that. Joy, and sometimes clarity requires sharp questions. Joaquin, I can respect that. Sunny, and sometimes guests come in already bracing for impact. Joaquin, that's accurate. Whoopee, so maybe next time you don't brace so hard. Joaquin, maybe next time I won't. Joy, are you coming back? Audience reacts immediately. Joaquin, I don't know if I survived this time. Audience laughter. Joy, oh, you survived. Whoopee, barely. There's applause. Joy leans back slightly. Joy, I will say this. I appreciate that you stayed in the conversation. A lot of people would have shut down. Joaquin, I thought about it. Audience gasps and laughs. Sunny, but you didn't. Joaquin, no. Whoopee, that matters. There's a beat. It feels settled. Whoopee, we do have to go to commercial in a minute. Irony noted. Audience laughter. Joy, see? The format wins. Joaquin, it usually does. Joy, final thought. In one sentence, what do you want viewers to understand about you that they might miss in headlines? Joaquin pauses. Joaquin, that I'm not trying to fight. I'm trying to figure things out. The audience applauds, genuinely this time. Sunny, that's fair. Whoopee, and we're trying to figure things out too. Joy nods slightly. Joy, even if we do it loudly. Audience applause. Whoopee, Joaquin Phoenix, everybody. The audience claps as the segment wraps. The camera fades out to commercial. But that wasn't the end of it. Within minutes of the clip airing online, social media lit up. Some viewers praised Joaquin for calling out what they see as performative television. Others defended Joy, saying she did exactly what a host is supposed to do: challenge, press, and push back. Clips of the moment where Joaquin said, "Do you?" began circulating immediately. So did Joy's line. Maybe the problem isn't just the format. Comment sections split fast. He was disrespectful. She was defensive. This is why we need real conversations. This is why celebrities shouldn't complain about press. Hashtags started trending by the afternoon. By the next day, both Joaquin and Joy were asked about it separately. Joaquin reportedly told another outlet that live conversations are imperfect but necessary. Joy addressed it on the next episode, saying, "We don't always agree with our guests, and that's okay." The audience response was mixed but engaged. And maybe that was the point, because what people saw wasn't a polished, PR-safe interview. They saw friction, ego, vulnerability, misunderstanding, and eventually a little mutual acknowledgement. Was it uncomfortable? Yes. Was it real? It felt like it. And sometimes that's what keeps viewers watching. Now we want to hear from you. Was Joaquin right about media and polarization? Was Joy just doing her job? Did the tension feel productive or unnecessary? Share your opinion in the comments and subscribe to the Star Talks for more real talk show stories.